and welcome to Native Nations for our January show of 2012. It is 2012, new year, so thank golly for that. And Aztec calendar was, Hollywood Aztec calendar was something was supposed to happen in 2012, but anyways, our show, January show, we have our special guest here, Andrea. Wave to the camera. Hello. And the footage that you were just witnessed, I know that there was no audio towards it, but it was footage that I've captured down in Fresno for the Longest Walk 3 for Leonard Peltier. So I was actually had my cell phone out and started filming, and so I didn't edit it or put anything in it, so I just wanted for everybody to see that. But they went from Fresno to Fresno downtown. So basically, we were on. They went down Blackstone Street. It's like a main, just like in Portland, Burnside. So they basically went on Blackstone to downtown Fresno. So, and they were there for a couple of days, and then they went to their next destination, was LA. So, but anyways, I just want to show that footage. All right, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Pretty good. And Andrea here has a pamphlet here. Ooh, can I read from the pamphlet?
You can.
She's talking about the Big Brother, Big Sister program. It's a program, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is it a program? Okay. I actually had a big brother when I was 12 years old.
Nice.
So I know I've experienced it, and it was a good experience for me, actually. So, and I want to ask, what got you involved?
Well, I actually got involved with the Native American Advisory Council for Big Brothers Big Sisters and Columbia Northwest. Big Brothers Big Sisters is a national organization, and there are over 370 agencies, and they're in different areas of different counties throughout the United States. We also have some international agencies in other countries. The agency here in Portland serves a huge area. We serve all the way up in Cowlitz County, all the way down to Clackamas County and Washington County, and we just serve so many kids in this region. And specifically, I'm the Native American Outreach Specialist now. I was hired back in May of 2011, and it's been a lot of fun. Essentially what we do is we find adults in the community who can be matched up with youth in the community and form friendships. And we're not asking them to be tutors, we're not asking them to be babysitters, we're not asking them to be perfect. We're asking them to just be healthy, safe adults that can spend some time consistently with kids and broaden their horizons. So it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, and I remember when I was doing, I didn't have any for Native Americans when I was 12 years old. I just had some, regular guy, and it was really good. So I've had a good experience with it. And is there a lot of like with your outreach? Like you got a Facebook page or something like on a website, just kind of for everybody to know about it?
Absolutely. We are on Facebook. Both National Native American Mentoring Initiative is on Facebook, and the Big Brothers Big Sisters Columbia Northwest is on Facebook. We have a website. It is www.bbbsnorthwest, spelled out, .org. That's our local agency website. And then the national website is www.bbbs.org.
Yeah, it's right up on the screen there.
Yay. Awesome. So, with regard to Native American mentoring, we don't have a lot of Native American adults that are signing up to be mentors. We always need more. We need more mentors of color, multicultural. We need the mentors to reflect the pool of children that we have waiting. As often as kids would like to be matched with somebody who looks like them, we will match them when we can. A lot of times kids don't care. They just want somebody to shoot hoops with. They just want somebody to go to OMSI with, somebody to hang out with, and it's not a priority for them. Occasionally we have kids who will say, can I get matched with somebody who looks like me? You know, and we try and honor that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, the truth of it is that kids will wait a lot longer if they're waiting for a mentor from their same ethnic background. And that's why National Big Brothers Big Sisters put into effect the Native American Mentoring Initiative. We also have focuses on Latino and African American diversity councils to try and bring in more mentors of color.
Yeah, and then with the organization, how many people do you think will probably sign up within the year with trying to get out and trying to outreach? Would you figure a number, kind of goal that you want to do, trying to get everybody or some people, or no?
I think that our goals are based upon the statistics of Portland and the metro area having 60,000 children. And if we as an agency can just serve 10% of those kids, that's 6,000 kids.
Yeah.
We are right now hovering about 2,700 kids that we're serving. And our goal is to continue to serve more, but we are a nonprofit organization and we only have so many employees and we can only continue to serve so many kids. But again, that's our goal, is to continue increasing the number of kids we serve, because we feel like if our one agency can serve 10% of the kids, that's a really good chunk. That's a good investment. And that's really what we try and get our mentors that we recruit to see, is that they are investing in our future. When we give our time and our energy and our, you know, our resources to our children, to our future, it improves our communities, it improves our families. It's just a really good investment.
Yeah, could you tell our viewers what are the requirements to be a Big Brother or Big Sister?
Well, we have different programs, and so the different programs have different requirements, so to speak. Let's see, for our community program, you've got to be over 18, and that's just because of the liability. You're going to be transporting or taking the child out in the community. For teen bigs, they can get involved at a school where the high school participates with an elementary school, and we match up kids with similar interests or similar skills, and they get to be the lunch buddy or go spend time with their little at recess, and then when they're done spending time, they themselves go back to their high school. So it's like they take a break from their day to give back to a little kid and then go back to school. For our community bigs, we ask them for a 1-year commitment.
1 year.
And the reason for that is, how do you measure prevention? How do you know if you're preventing suicide by providing a strong, healthy friendship? How do you know if you're preventing your little brother or little sister from choosing drugs or alcohol? That's not something that you can measure, but you can take a look at, and we have our youth outcome survey that we use to measure the child's responses and attitudes toward certain risky behaviors. And we measure at the beginning, after a period of time, in the middle, and then again at the end of the year. So we have that year-long tracking of their attitudes and tendencies toward those risky behaviors, or avoiding them, or how do they feel about themselves scholastically, their self-esteem, you know. So it's very hard to track prevention, but that's how we do it. We ask our mentors to help us track it by giving us a full year. Our studies show that children who are matched with an adult and that match ends within 3 to 6 months, it has a detrimental effect. It's worse than if they hadn't been matched at all, because it reinforces that adults don't stick around. It reinforces that they can't rely on a friendship to last. You know, even if they do everything right, it's still going to end. So that's why we say, please, you don't have to be anything but yourself, but be consistent and show up. Just like you would cancel if you had plans with your friends and you couldn't make it, you would call them, you'd communicate, and we ask our adults to do that for the kids. We ask them to just keep in consideration, this is a friendship and it can be lifelong. When I was in college, I mentored a young lady, and we are still friends to this day. She was 13, I was 19, and now she's grown up, and so those friendships can last a lifetime.
And you were talking about like prevention and stuff. It's good to instead of sticking them in front of the TV, to get them out and doing something, and that's what I think our people and a lot of the kids need, is to get out and do something instead of sit at home, play games, watch TV, because that's when they're going to get especially TV's awful, with the people who have cable and stuff, because it gives messages for little kids, and for alcohol and drugs and everything like that, even though they're not blatantly saying it, but it's in movies, shows, it's kind of fit in there. So I think it's good for our community for our kids to get out there and do something.
Indeed, and we have the Sports Buddies program. It's another one of our programs, and the requirements for that are the basics. You pass the background check, the driving record check, and in addition, we also do reference checks. It's all about safety. Once we've determined that somebody is a safe adult, then we look at what time can they devote, what are their skills. And with our Sports Buddies program, we're asking that adult to be physically active with the child, whether it's going hiking, going for a walk. They can go watch a Blazers game, and occasionally we get tickets donated. So if anybody out there has tickets to any sporting event, you feel free to donate them to us. We'll put them in the hands of kids to go with their mentors to those events, whether it's hockey. So we ask them to be physically active twice a month with the child as part of the Sports Buddies program. And we're actually right now working on Native Sports Buddies program, and that's where we're highlighting indigenous sports. For the winter time, we encouraged mentors to take their kids up to Mount Hood or wherever else that they could get to snow. And we have some activities that like snowshoeing and looking at the traditional ways of making snowshoes. In the springtime, we're looking at getting kids on the water. Spring and summertime, we've got some of our Native American Mentoring Council members are going to help us get kids out on the water, get them paddling. The key is to take kids who, like you said, might just be home alone, or not home alone, but like just watching television, and get them out of that comfort zone to try something new, try something safe, try something fun, and be supported by an adult. When I was a kid, we would go outside and play. Nowadays, you can't just send a kid outside to play by themselves. So we've got to find other ways to foster their creativity and encourage their imagination, get them outdoors, help them enjoy, show them something they might not have known before. And so it's a lot of fun. My little sister that I'm matched up with is my powwow buddy. So she's really been an inspiration for me. Like, things are so new to her. She really enjoys, going to the mall and having fun, and things that I kind of, as an adult, have gotten tired and weary of. Even something as simple as grocery shopping. She goes with me, and we'll pick out things, and we'll examine the price on the items and find a good deal. And those are things that I hadn't thought about in a long time, that she's learning, she's observing. Even if I step aside to let somebody pass, that's her observing me being courteous. Things we don't think about. We're not asking folks to be anything but themselves, to just be there for that child. And it's so much fun.
So make something fun out of it. Something that I would never think of taking my godson to the store and be, I don't know, trying to make something fun out of it.
Well, if you think about it,
he's only about 4 years old. So
how do you learn how to pick a good watermelon? How do you know when the avocados are ripe? These are all things that we as adults sort of take for granted, but it's all new to them. It's new to the kids, and it's fun.
That's
it
good.
can be fun. So.
Okay. All right. Well, we are 20 minutes. I don't know. Renee's waving at me back there to do something. I don't know what. I can't read sign language.
Absolutely not. It does not cost to join. It is free. All it costs is your time. So I mentioned that we have different programs. We've got sports buddies. We've got our school programs and School Plus. School Plus is where you go twice a month to the child's school, and the rest of the other weeks you can go hang out in the community. So that's where it's School Plus. Another of our programs is the Apoyo program, which is specific to Washington County, and that is where we are finding mentors who have great patience and skills to work with children who are currently receiving mental health services. Now, this is a great response to reducing the number of children that have to go into residential treatment programs. We're not the answer, but we're an added member of the team. The mentor, it's a 2-year requirement for that program, but they get to stay with the kid throughout their different transitions and, like I said, be that friend. They're not a counselor, they're not a tutor, they're just a friend, somebody to hang out with, play chess, play checkers, Monopoly, or shoot hoops. Just a friend that the child can talk to. So we have the different programs, and it's free. What we ask is that time. Although, if you so choose to become a donor, that's awesome. We won't say no. Like I said, we are a nonprofit organization.
Yeah, we want the Blazer seats to be front row tickets, not nosebleeders. I remember sitting up there when I was a little kid. They used to sit up there in nosebleeding seats. Can't see anything. Just like, I don't know, ants playing basketball. So, well, that's great. Is there anything else you would like to mention to our viewers?
Yes.
All right.
January is National Mentoring Month. We're right in the thick of it. We've had different acknowledgments from different counties, different mayors. Some proclamations have been signed, and they're just basically acknowledging that this is Mentoring Month, and Big Brothers Big Sisters does a great job of finding mentors and matching them up with kids. I really encourage folks, whether you're mentoring through our organization or whether you start mentoring, a child in your own family, all it takes is being consistent. Designating that little bit of time every week for that one child, that one-on-one mentoring really empowers them. As Native American people, we really understand mentoring. It's how we passed on our traditions. If we did not teach the next generation how to hunt, who was going to? If we did not teach them how to build the homes and structures, who was going to? And that's a part of our community that has sort of, gotten stretched really thin. Only so many people are mentoring because everybody else is working their 9-to-5 jobs, trying to pay the bills, trying to keep the roof over the head. And we find that in our community groups like Bow and Arrow, NEA Culture Night, NARA Youth Night, we've got great group activities, and those are what keep us together strong as a community. But we can't overlook the power of that one-to-one relationship when a child has your undivided attention, and what that does for their spirit, what that does for their sense of belonging, and so we really need to consider that whatever organization you choose to get involved with, or whether you just start mentoring the children in your own family. I have nieces and nephews. I don't have any of my own, but I have nieces and nephews, and what I've done since becoming involved with Big Brothers Big Sisters is I became a mentor. I'm signed up through the program. I started mentoring at my church. I started mentoring in my community. So I'm mentoring right now about 5 or 6 different kids because that's what I have the time for. And they know that they can call me And they know that when I'm with them, they have my attention. And I'm going to listen to them and let them talk. And it's nice for me as a, young adult. I'm getting into the middle age, I won't say, but
23?
Yeah, 23, totally.
Yeah, 23. Yeah.
But it's a new role. Like, I think we as adults have to learn to listen.
Mm-hmm.
And what better way than to start listening to children?
Yeah.
They're so cute. They are so cute. I'm just saying.
Yeah, like a lot of people say, the children are our future, and it's kind of, we have to have a better understanding on how they're gonna, be our future. A lot of people, they say, well, children are our future, and then we got to step up and take care of, even though they're maybe not your children, but they are connected in some way. They're related, or you got to take care of them as a human being, I believe. So I mean, when I see a kid, it's just smiles and happy, not nothing, don't give them no grief or anything, just kind of be happy about things. They'll smile, they'll smile just to be nice, but sometimes they're all shy, shy about it. And that's what I like about kids is, not just not mentoring them, or not just being there. That's what.
Well, the other thing to think about is, like I said, we're not asking people to be a tutor or anything like that. Just that friendship, having that friendship. For some children, making friends with their peers is excruciatingly filled with anxiety. It's really hard for them. And when they have that lunch buddy or somebody who comes and helps break the ice, they start to look forward to that every week. Their lunch buddy's going to come hang out with them. And they start to build their confidence, and you start to see leadership coming from the child. And so in classrooms where 1, 2, or 3 of the kids are matched with mentors outside of the classroom, you see those improvements in the classroom.
Yeah.
And it's because of the leadership starts coming out of, it's being nurtured. And that's our future. We're nurturing our future. We're teaching them how to be good human beings. Yeah. And it's so much fun.
Yeah, I wish that this program could be on a lot of the reservations, because when I was on the reservation, I don't think I have seen. It was like boring to be, and there's nothing to do. And then if there was somebody there to, play ball with or something, I think it'd be a better ease of it. And so, are you looking forward to maybe working more outside, more like in other areas, or just get started here and then get things going into the other programs, Well,
one of the things that our national mentoring initiative, our national mentoring program is doing is they're reaching out to all the different tribes. Like I said, there are over 370 different Big Brothers Big Sisters agencies, but right now we're only serving about 35 Native American communities or Native American populations. Yeah. And the unfortunate part of it is we are a nonprofit. Even our national organization is a nonprofit, and we require grant funding, foundation donations, to continue. And for the last 3 years, which is actually how I got hired at Big Brothers Big Sisters, was that we were funded, we had partial funding by a Native American Mentoring Initiative, a grant from OJJDP, which is Juvenile Justice Department. Oh, I'm going to get that wrong, but skipping over that
That's
little
all right.
detail.
That's all right. We'll bleep it out like you cussed or something.
Well, that funding lasted for us for 3 years to specifically go out and do more outreach, to reach out to Native communities, to get more Native mentors. And what we noticed is that we serve, this Portland metro area, we serve urban Native youth. Now, they may be enrolled in their tribe, but they live here in the city, from Cowlitz, Cowlitz County, all the way down to the northern part of Marion County. All of these children, we don't have a reservation in this area.
Yeah.
The next agency over, Big Brothers Big Sisters Central Oregon, they serve Jefferson County, which is Warm Springs. Warm Springs is on that reservation, and so they have been able to continue receiving funding through the Native American Mentoring Initiative because they serve reservation youth. And the same for Lewis County, which is the Big Brothers Big Sisters Southwest Washington. They also have, reservation youth. And we, because they serve Chehalis, but we don't have a reservation in the Portland metro area, but we have, according to the Making the Invisible Visible report that was put out by the Coalition of Colors, Community of Colors. With that document, it states that we're the 9th largest Native American population. We were one of the 7 major cities that people were relocated to. And so our Native kids here are tribal, but they're not reservation. They're urban. So what we're finding now with our agency is that there is not a huge support for urban Native youth. And so I definitely challenge anybody out there, if you have funds to support urban Native youth, please put that toward the programs that are serving our Native youth. There is a tremendous need for it. And just like the children with their time, if we don't step in to mentor them, somebody else will. They're going to teach them something that we hope they don't learn. We need to be there teaching them and mentoring them, and our companies, our corporations, our businesses need to be supporting the youth in the urban setting. That's just a topic I get all passionate about.
That's okay.
Yeah.
That's all right. Well, is that all you have to say?
I think so.
Pretty much summed it up.
Go on our website and check us out. Get involved either through, if you're in Washington County, get involved with our Apoyo program, which means it's the Spanish word for support. And that's basically, that's the program with the 2-year commitment of, hey, I've got an extra special amount of patience and I can work with a child who's been through a lot, and that's something I can do. That's a very specific program. Or I can be a sports buddy. I love shooting hoops. I was going to go to the gym and work out anyway. Why not get involved and go hiking with a kid, do some physical activity with a kid? Another program I forgot to mention that we're working on is serving the children of military families. And it's our military mentoring initiative. Basically, when you think about it, these are kids who, may have both parents, or single parent maybe in the military stationed overseas, is being raised by a grandparent. The thing about it is they have a very unique set of challenges because they're both proud and sad sometimes, depending on what the parent or guardian, what their orders are. Are they going to be gone for this amount of time, or when they come home, how long are they going to be home before they get restationed? So since a lot of Native American families are also military families, I really encourage folks to come forward. There are some great kids who really need a friend who understands some of the military, the challenges that are brought into their lives through the military. And considering how many Native American people go into the armed services, this is just another area that we need to watch out for and look out for. We need to be listening and be available to these kids as well. So, can't think of anything else.
All right.
I really enjoy mentoring. It's a lot of fun, and everybody else should too.
All right. And do you have an email address at all for email to get somebody on the show wants to get a hold of you, or just go on that website, or?
Yep, you can go on the website,
Okay.
and there's a link to my, you can go under the staff contacts. I'm
Okay.
on there.
All right, and there it is right there.
Oh, yeah.
Well,
Right.
I thank you for being on the show, and we will probably show some Winona. So, Jim, if you want to get that together, and I thank you for coming to the show, and everybody's watching.
I think I avoided looking at the camera.
Yeah,
as much
camera's
as
somewhere
possible.
over there. Yeah. So, Jim, whenever you're ready with that Winona, and put it up, and we will either play through and.
I'm from the White Earth Reservation, which I guess you gathered. Thank you for having me and coming out. But thank you again for this and being concerned about these issues. And thanks very much to Trish, who's been working really hard on this issue. I just want to say that. And she has a bunch of information on the table. I'm going to refer to it, and I hope you all follow up on it, because it's really important what we're trying to do here. And it's very funny you said I came here without charge. You know, I shouldn't tell you all this, but I gave a speech for 24 eggs last week. If you are a big university, you should probably pay me. But if you're a farmer, you could just give me eggs. Just let you know. We're good. So I came out here. A lot of you know a little bit about my history, but I feel like we are these people in this moment in time, and we're the ones who are here. You know, and as you look around, you got this shot to do something great. Got the shot to keep them from blowing off the top of a mountain. You know, got a shot to keep them from combusting the planet to oblivion. Got a shot to keep them from opening another bad uranium mine or a gold mine for some jewelry that you don't need, right? Shot to take a dam down in a river. And you got a shot to stop the tar sands. And I feel like it's this great spiritual moment where you have the ability to do something great spiritually. And I think that that is worth everything. Because we, as humans, are different than the rest of our relatives. And we have different opportunities to do things than our relatives, and they count on us to do things and not to mess more stuff up, you know? So that's what I feel like about this tar sands. You know, a lot of you know a little bit about my history. I spent most of my adult life fighting bad things. But I also try to do the right thing, best I can. You know, and that's what I found in my strategy is you can always fight the bad guy. You got to fight the bad guys. Can't quit, because they got a 50-year plan. Exxon has a 50-year plan, you know, for the tar sands and for all of us. And I would say I probably don't agree with their plan. You know, so if you're gonna, unless you are, you know, you have to be prepared for a long haul, because these things don't get fixed in 48 minutes when you watch TV. You know, little character development, little solution, and we're done. It's not like that. It's long haul, these issues, you know. And if we really want to be about the process of not only self-determination, the process of being the kind of righteous or Pono people that we can be, then we need to think about that. And we need to sometimes step outside of our arena of comfort and do something. And I say that to you knowing that a lot of you probably are involved in a lot of issues, you know, and I'm like you. Some days I wake up and I'm saying, I sure hope someone's got that one covered. You know what I mean? It's like, because I cannot do all those battles, you know, and so you're hoping, ooh, I got this, you know, or maybe you wake up and you're saying, I sure hope that bad idea went away because that was just a really bad idea. You know, the golf course on the sacred site plan, you know. You're hoping that someone just decided they couldn't do it. This is one that's not, you know, and sometimes you got to just keep on it. So a little bit about my history, but I'm just going to say that, you know, in the course of my life, I've seen a lot of people say no and say that's enough. And in a lot of ways, you know, we're like that. I got an adopted sister. And when I first met her, she's a beautiful woman, you know. I met her, she's a beautiful woman, and she still is stunning. And she was in this abusive relationship. And I didn't really know that much about it because I didn't really know her that good. You know, and she seemed good on the outside. And then finally one day, you know, she left that guy. And I said, why'd you leave him? I mean, what made you stop? She said, you know, I was putting up my Indian coat hangers on the wall. She said those, you know, those nails, you know. She said, and I realized that I was putting them up really high so that when he slammed my head against the wall, my head wouldn't hit it. She said, and all of a sudden I said, that's enough. And I feel like that's kind of where we're at, is you live in an abusive society. We live in a society which abuses us and abuses our relatives and abuses our mother. At some point, you got to just say that's enough, you know, and fight these guys. So, you know, I've seen people fight, and she has a good life now, I have to say. She has a fantastic life. But I seen, you know, when I was young, I remember, you know, we used to fight these uranium mines down in New Mexico, and I didn't know much about it. But what I knew is that you can't see it, can't smell it, can't taste it, lasts 10,000 years and kills you. Probably shouldn't take it out of the ground, you know? Probably shouldn't start the mess. But how do you fight the nuclear industry? You know, we did pretty darn good. They ain't built a new nuclear power plant in this country for 30 years. Why is that? You know? That's because people like us fought, said can't put it here, you know, can't open it up. You know, we in our native communities that were really isolated, not unlike the people in northern Alberta, said, you know, just because you cannot see our face does not mean we don't exist. And does not mean you can do that to us. You know, and so we showed up. We showed up across this country at places. And I feel like that was an important step in my own consciousness as a young woman, saying, you know, we have a right to be heard, and you should see our face before you make a decision, and in fact, the decision's going to need to be no. So 30 years, now they're trying to reboot the nuclear industry. I don't know if you noticed this, but there's no nuclear reboot on a worldwide scale without massive government subsidy. Because nobody wants to get in there, because they're expensive and they're dangerous, right? Which I was thinking that we might learn that lesson from Japan. But there's still some idiots in Congress that are pushing this. I don't want to be tangential, but what I'm saying is that you fight these guys, but you got to keep at it. You know, I've seen people fight off bad mining projects. I've seen people fight dam projects. James Bay, they fought the first round, no, second round of James Bay dams. You know, fought them for about 6 years. New York Power Authority canceled its contracts. They got downrated in their stocks. I say this because I think that a lot of you know that the longer you fight a project, the more expensive it becomes, right? And the more expensive it becomes in a failing capitalist economy, the better shot you have at winning. I'm just telling you, that's just the way it is, right? And so keep that in mind. We don't have the money, but they don't either. For the long haul, they do not. And so I saw those dams, James Bay 2, close. And how you know you won is when they say the project is no longer considered economical. And the New York Times calls you a ragtag band of activists. You know, we're like, thank you. You know, because no one would have bet, you know. I seen us defeat some nuclear waste dumps. And, but what I have to tell you is what you also know. In the process of the 30 years I've been working on this, we have not changed the system. And so you still got a predator-prey relationship. You got a system that consumes a quarter of the world's oil resources and does not have a plan B. We have a mass transit system that would be an embarrassment to Bulgaria and is an embarrassment to this country. You have an interstate highway system that should not exist at that level. Yeah? You have inefficiencies in your energy system from point of production at inefficient power plants, inefficient mines, no accounting for make, right? To the end, which wastes 57% of the energy in your electrical system. To the finally you get to those light bulbs, those incandescent light bulbs that waste 90% of the power when you put them in. You know what I'm saying? Because you get mostly heat in your afterlight. So you got a system that's set up to profit from overconsumption. There's no encouragement to use less. The corporations make money on using more. That's the way it's set up. And so the predator always comes back for something else. So here I am 30 years later thinking I had a bad deja vu as they try to open a uranium mine on the edge of the Grand Canyon. Where I'm thinking, it's like what, the seventh wonder of the world or something? Should it not be worth something? Right? You know? Or you look at this here, the tar sands. I don't have an absolute analysis on how to beat this. You know, what I will tell you is what I'm hoping you already know a little bit about. As my colleague Trish and I met, in June last year? We've known each other about a year, and she just really is pushing full on this, you know? And we knew about the tar sands. We was out in Montana when Trish and I met, but we didn't know much about the heavy haul, right? Nobody did. And it kind of came to light, and we said that's a really, really bad idea. You know, but what I'll tell you about the tar sands, single largest industrial project in world history. Mining an area the size of Lake Superior, taking a pristine ecosystem, the Athabascan River system, and turning it into a toxic cesspool, you know. Inefficient. The amount of water being used is, they got water permits for larger than Alberta's two major cities, Calgary and Edmonton. As far as I know, they're not making any new water, right? What we got is what the dinosaurs had, probably don't want to squander it and turn it into toxins. That's the level of unaccountability. Tar sand producers burn 600 million cubic feet of natural gas to produce tar sands oil daily, enough natural gas to heat 3 million homes. So they take, basically, if you're going to call it a clean fossil fuel, the cleanest being natural gas, right? To make the dirtiest fuel and to stick it in our gas tanks, right? CO2 emissions exceed those of 97 nations, just that project. So you want to combust ourselves to oblivion, that's the project. It's right there. But what happens is what always happens in this continent is that if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, right? And so people do not see what is happening. And so they think, you know, it's not in my backyard. And by the way, I want gas for my tank. And so they justify this, they predicate it on that it is a solution to the issues of peak oil. There's not a solution to the issues of peak oil except for reduction in consumption. There is no oil ferry, there's no carbon sequestration ferry, and there's no nuclear waste ferry, right? You got to consume less. So what they want to do, you know, is they realized in this country that consumption is increasing, not decreasing, because of public policy choices and personal choices. And a system that's set up to transport food 1,500 miles from farmer to table, right? And slather petroleum on it and move stuff around the country that we buy and throw away. I'm saying that you got an inefficient system, right? And they want to keep buttressing that system up rather than dealing with the fact that that is unsustainable. And so that practice requires more intervention and more bad oil. So having consumed half the world's known oil resources, we're at this place where the rest of the oil's out there, but it's down where the Deepwater Horizon was, right? The bottom of the Gulf of Mexico, probably someplace you don't want to go for the rest of your oil, right? Why? Ecologically, shouldn't happen. Economically, should not happen. Expensive and dangerous. Polar ice caps, that's another fantastic place to go for oil. You know, Conoco is announcing it got 20,000 feet down. You know, isn't that like a Jules Verne movie or something? You know what I'm saying? It's like places you should not go. It's called the deep. Just stay away. You know, they probably don't want to see you in your oil rigs out there. Then there's the oil that is in countries that don't want to give us their oil. You know, last figure I heard is we got a $3 trillion war. $100 billion a year. let alone the price tag of the vets. Can't afford a second war for oil, right? And it cannot afford the Alberta tar sands. The United States has squandered $200 billion that we could have spent doing good things. Instead, they spent it pretty much on the tar sands. Building infrastructure to haul it down, investment, right? It is ecologically and in terms of human impact a disaster. Then in this excellent book, available over there, I will refer you to. Check this one out. I thought that the bird people would be horrified at this. Tar sands exploitation, according to ornithologists, is going to kill a minimum of 6 million and a maximum of 166 million North, South, and Central American birds in 2 to 3 decades. Now, someone was asking me last night how many birds the wind turbines were going to kill. I'm pretty sure it's not 166 million. You understand what I'm saying? And why would that be? Because that's where they go nest. And they can't nest up there because it's toxic. Yeah? So it is not as if what happens is unseen. It is absolutely as if what happens affects us all. There are a lot of people fighting this.
It's me. Oh, man, we are back. Nobody told me, but that's all right. Welcome back to our show. I'm just reading over my notes, my cheat sheets. So I wanted to talk about a couple events that are happening this month, next month, and future. We will have the winter round dance. That's at the Native American Center, Native American Student and Community Center. That is in Portland, and I think probably everybody's been there. They are going to have the Master of Ceremonies, going to be Harold Paul. Special guests, Paul Rowley, looks like. And they're going to have a hand drum contest. Uh-oh. So it's going to be, it says 6 to, 5:30. And it says the feed is at 6 to 10 p.m. So if you guys are hungry, come around at 5:30. It is free to get in. And of course, it's a drug and alcohol free event. It should be. And yeah, that's what's going to be happening on Friday. So if you got nothing to do tomorrow, go ahead and do that. Next event is PCC Portland Community College powwow. It's Sylvania campus. So if it's way up by the hospital, like going towards that way. But it's from Saturday, January 21st, which is this Saturday. Grand entry will be at 1 o'clock. And let's see what she got there. Okay, yeah, all right. And then on Sunday, we're having the Portland AIM chapter feed and potluck. That is January 22nd, 3 p.m. to 6. So if you guys are hungry, you want to come and eat, then that'll be good. So let's see. Oh, we got Gather Nations First Nations Powwow. Oh, Gathering of First Nations Powwow. Saturday, January 28th, between 12. So looks like probably grand entry between 12 and 1. It'll end at 10, and it's in Salem. It's at their pavilion. I don't know. I know it's like an expo center they have there in Salem, just like we have here in Portland. On February 4th, we have a Leonard Peltier rally in Tacoma, Washington. That's going to be for Leonard Peltier. So please join us for that. And Blackfire, if you guys know Blackfire. Pretty good band. I listen to them. Doing a concert and storytelling event at PSU Native Center, Native American Student and Community Center, February 11th, 7 p.m. to 10. And we'll have our guest speaker, He was on our show a couple shows ago, Calvin. So please, oh yeah, Blackfire. Oh, Blackfire. Okay, my bad. $10 donations at the door if you guys are want to come, but we won't turn you away. So, and let's see. Today, right now, I got this secret email at the Laughing Horse Books on 12th Northeast 10th Street, Portland, Oregon. There's going to be a fundraiser for Leonard Peltier for the walk. It's going to start at 7 and it's going to end around 10. Actually, the email says end around 10. So please join them. I have no contact information, but if you need to go, you need to go right now down to the Laughing Horse Books, 12 Northeast 10th, Portland, Oregon. Looks like it's going to be northeast side of Burnside, and yeah. So, and yeah. So I want to thank my guests for being here. Thank you. And Dave is. Oh, we forgot about Dave. Yeah, Dave was kind of missing here. Dave is actually under the weather, so I wish him great health and prosperity, how they say. So, get well, Dave. And we'll see him next month. Yeah, so I think we're down here to our about two minutes here. And so if you guys want to be on our show, talk about events or talk about anything, let us know at the Native Nations website, nativenations@rocketmail.com, or Facebook, Native Nations. Just look us up and send us an email. And yeah, so I thank you for joining us today for a January show. And I'll have Jim throw us out some Wild Rose footage that I took in Yakima. So go ahead, Jim.